Yeah, hello everyone. I am Zilan Basha, Department of BES1. So here we are discussing about the course Computational Thinking for Structured Design. In this course, we are discussing about C program structure, identifiers, keywords, constants and comments. So we will be having a brief discussion about all these topics here. Let us go ahead. What is the aim of the session? Very first, the aim of this topic is to provide an understanding of basic structure of C program, identifiers, constants, comments, everything. And here we are going to aim at explanation for their definitions, characteristic rules and significance in C programming. Instructional objectives. So instructional objectives are here. Very first, here understand the basic structure of C program and the role of main function. Second one, name identifiers correctly and differentiate between valid and invalid identifiers in C. Use constants effectively for improved code and readability and maintainability. Recognize and avoid using reserved keywords as identifiers in C programming. Write meaningful comments to enhance code documentation and readability. So learning outputs, what we are going to learn from this session. So after completion of this topic, learners will have a solid understanding of C programming structure, identifiers, keywords, constants and comments. They will be able to apply this knowledge to write well structured and readable C programs. Let us deep dive into the topics. So let us give the I am just going to introduce why C language is very essential. So I can say like a C language is very important for all the beginners to understand the how we need to communicate with the system, how we need to give the instructions to the system, all these things. So here I can say a C is a powerful programming language widely used for system programming, embedded systems and application development. To write efficient and maintainable C programs, it is essential to understand the basic structure. I mean to say, whenever we are writing any programming language, it is having its own structure. There are certain programming language I am naming here like C, Java, Python, like this. Every programming language is having its own structure. Here also C is having its own structure. We need to follow that structure and we need to write the program. That we are going to discuss here. And after understanding the basic structure of C program, we are going to look at the rules, how we need to name a particular variable. There are certain rules available, we call it as identifier rules. Okay, what is the purpose of constants and the role of keywords? What is the keyword here we are going to learn, and what is the role of each keyword we are going to see here in short. And by benefits, what is the use of using comments, that also we are going to check and we are going to discuss in this session. So let us go ahead. So here I am just showing you the basic structure of C program. Look here, it is going to start from here, hash include stdio.h. This part we call it as header section, header file section. This part we call it as main function section, and here which is written in red color, we are going to call it as program statements section. Okay, so this is the basic structure. I can explain you with some process from examples, some other example here. I can say like any programming should start with header file, and the header file is hash include stdio.h. What does it mean? What does it mean? Why the purpose of why here we need to include the header file here? What will happen if you are including? What will happen if you are not including any header file? Let me elaborate this explanation. stdio.h. std is nothing but standard. This is input. This is output. And what is this h? Header file. Header file. So this header file is standard input output related header file. Okay, it is talking about whenever we are using in future, in further sessions we are going to discuss about some functions called printf and scanf. Printf for printing, let me write down here, printf for printing purpose and scanf is for reading purpose. Some values from the keyboard if you want to read, we use scanf. Input function and this is output function. If we want to use these two functions, we need to include the header file. The header file name is #include stdio.h. So what this hash include? Hash is a preprocessor directory. It is including, means before the start of pre-processing. Just let me explain here. Process is something is getting executed, something program is getting executed. Pre-processing, before the execution of program, something is happening here. The hash include, the pre-processing includes what? Standard input output header file. This header file, if we are including here, this will tell the system the meaning of the printf and scanf. In further sessions, if you are going to, in further steps, we are going to use printf and scanf. The system will not get confused what printf is, what scanf is. Why? Because already the definition is included here. Pre-processed explanation is done. Like this, this is hash include stdio.h is not the only header file we have. We have many header files. Okay, that we will be discussing in the coming sessions. And after that, main. Main is the function, I can say like execution of C program starts from main function. Without main function, it is not possible to execute the program. That's why I can say you the program execution starts from main and ends with main. And this is the place where you need to write whatever the instructions you want to give. Okay, so let us go ahead with our discussion. Let me take you to the next slide. So that is what it is explaining. The next slide is explaining about stdio.h, which is a header file which provides input and output functionalities. The main function is the entry point of the program where the execution begins and ends. That's what I told. Inside main function you can write many number of program statements. Return 0 is the return statement which is going to indicate that you are going to successfully terminate your program. Okay, so let me go ahead. Identifiers. So identifiers are something like we are going to write some variables like something like int a. A is a variable. What is the name should be given for that variable? There are certain rules available for naming the variable name. That name is not, variable naming is nothing but identifier, and identifier is having certain rules. The rules are like this. You can write like this, int variable you can write, int abc you can write, that is okay. But the thing is, you have a look at a float second number. You just look at the first character here. The first character is integer. That any particular identifier, I mean to say whenever you want to name, that name should not start with any integer number. Instead, it should start with either a character or underscore. And here have a look, the third example given, my underscore variable is given. Underscore is allowed. You cannot write my space variable. If you write like this, definitely this is going to be not considered as a identifier. The space should not be given. And I can say like underscore is allowed, but dot is not allowed. Okay, that is what we need to remember while naming an identifier. And here also have a look, this is also invalid. Why it is invalid? Have a look. The invalid is underscore is there, but what is the problem? The first, what is the problem is here is the first character is an integer. And also here spaces are very important. Make sure that you are not giving any spaces in middle. If you want to give any name, you give along with underscore in middle. Hope you are understanding how to name the identifier. So let me take you to the next slide. That's what I have explained here, the explanation. In this example, variable and my variable are valid, but identifiers as they start with a letter, underscore, letter or an underscore, and contain letters, digits, underscores. However, second number and third number, these are not valid. Why? Because first number, first character is integer here also. Constants. Constants are nothing but fixed values we give to the particular variable. I mean to say, like here you are having constant, const is the keyword used for that. What keyword is I am going to explain. Integer, int, max value. What is the value you have assigned for max value here? 100. Means wherever you are going to use max value, it is going to be considered as 100. In the similar way, pi is the value given. You have assigned 3.14 constant value, means whenever you are using the variable or something name called pi, it is going to be considered as 3.14 but not pi. And here also the similar case with letter. You are assigning a. Why you have included with single quotes? It is the representation of characters, character constants. So whenever you are using the name a letter, then it means it is not the letter, it means the constant a. And here also message, hello world. Instead of whenever you write message, it is nothing but hello world. Keywords. I told you just in the previous slides what keyword is. It is going to be very crucial role in writing the C programming. I can say like keywords are reserved words in the C programming that have already predefined meaning, whose meaning is already defined to the system. Okay, I will show you certain list of keywords here. There are totally 32 keywords are available. These are the 32 keywords: auto, break, case, char, const, continue, default, double, else, enum, extend, float, for, go to, if, and int, long, register, or return, short, sign, size of, static. All these are totally 32 keywords are available. If we cannot use these names as identifiers also. Int auto you cannot write. Int auto you should not write, because it is the name of a keyword. You cannot name the identifier with the keyword name. Okay, so like this. So here in future you are going to have certain sessions called in the conditional statements, where you are going to use if else. Okay, here these are the keywords. And further coming in this example also you are looking at for. Here is a keyword. While here is a keyword. Okay, let us come to the next session. Before going to the next session, I am just going to write one small example. Let me write hash include stdio.h int main. Okay, and at last you are going to write return, right? Return 0. In middle I am writing int. What is this? Keyword. Variable name. I am going to write int for. Variable name is for. This is not allowed. Why? Because for is a keyword. Instead you can use any name. You can use the name called variable also. Why? Because variable is not the name is not the keyword here. And here you are going to write certain steps or instructions I can call. Okay, and thereafter I am going to discuss about a topic called comment. What comments are? So if something, if you are representing like this, if the single line comment, then you can use this 2 slash. If it's multi-line is to be commented like this, you need to slash star ended with star slash. What happens is whatever you are writing in middle like this, that particular part of the program is not going to be executed. It is going to be just commented. Why comments are being written is mostly in any programming or in future in software company also, whether people are writing any code, they will give certain explanation about the purpose of that code. So the purpose of code will be written in the comments, so that by reading that comment, the developer or the person who is writing the code will definitely understand what this particular logic will do. These are not going to be executed, but for the user or the programmer purpose, this is going to be very helpful. Okay. Next, this is what I have explained. A single line comment, like we can write like this. Multi-line comments, it should start like this, it should end like this. Okay. So thereafter, in summary, I am just telling that what are these are the topics we have covered here. C programming structure we have seen, identifiers we have seen, constants we have seen, keywords we have seen, and how to use the comments we have seen. Okay, few questions for you. What is the significance of using the header files in a C program? Provide an example. And these are the few examples for you guys for the practice purpose. What is the characteristic of valid identifier? Explain the difference between integer and float, why it is important to avoid using keywords as identifiers, how can comments improve the code documentation and readability, write a C program that uses constants, comments and meaningful identifier to calculate a simple area of circle, which you know in mathematics formula, area of circle pi r square. So these are the reference books you can go through. Thank you.